Welcome back to No Crime After Dark, where we have to talk about crime in the daytime because somebody needs a nightlight to sleep. Since apparently last week I have such a smart mouth and I should have a saying for why we are called No Crime After Dark every week, but here lately I have not.
Different.
It should be, and I'm working on that. Just like I'm working on the fact that last week's episode was recorded and posted on time. I just left it as unlisted for the second time this month. Don't judge me, judge your mama. So y'all could go see last week's episode about what was that heifer child name? Well, it wasn't even about her.
It was about Ramon Sosa.
Ramon Sosa. Yeah, Ramon Sosa and his crazy ass wife. Again, please go check that out because we currently have one view on there, and I'm pretty sure I'm that one view. So please go check that out. Again, don't judge me, judge your mama, and judge her because I'm the only one doing the editing still. So work with me, people. I told y'all I still want a job.
Good job.
So it's on there now, though. So go look at it. And then when you get done looking at this, go look back at that. And if you ain't seen no other ones, look at those too. Yeah. So just watch them all, is what I'm saying. Just start from the top. Just start from the beginning. Today, though, we will be discussing Aaron Carter. For those of you, I would say what, 80, 84, 85 to what, 97 maybe? Somewhere in that gap. Yeah, 80, I'd say 85 to like 96.
I feel like you were in the 80s, you most likely knew his brother. I mean, you knew him because of his brother, but you probably was his brother's fan.
We all started as Knicks fan. Well, me personally, I was a fan of AJ and Brian, but we knew who Nick was before we knew who Aaron was.
Right, and then the young kids would have known
Aaron. They would have been more hip to Aaron.
Yeah.
Because for us, I think by the time, so he was only 2 years younger than us, but still for some reason it seems like by the time he came out, I was like so over that kind of music. I don't know how. And I was still bumping Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and Christina and all of them. Yeah. But I was definitely over that, what they call bubblegum pop. That's what they called it. I had already kind of got past that point.
To 106 and Park.
You said what now?
I said we moved on from TRL and Carson Daly to.
No, I was still watching both. Like I would have to.
You're free.
Yeah, like I would have to toggle between the two because, like, 106 and Park started at 6 Midwest time. I don't know what time it started everywhere else, but it was 6 Midwest time. I remember that. And then TRL started at like 5. So I would have to go between the two channels if one,
TRL was always on when I got home from school. Like I'd be like, oh, let me watch the countdown. I used to always watch it when I got home from school. So 4-ish.
So that would have been more like 5 my time, something like that in the Midwest. Because y'all ignore my smoke alarm. Again, judge your mama, not me. I still ain't took the battery out. I'm short, whatever. It's irking me. That's why I said something. But anyway, so yeah, somewhere between 4 and 6, Monday through Friday. I personally had to toggle between MTV. If MTV was on a commercial, I was on BET. BET went on commercial, I was back on MTV. So if you grew up in the generation of TRL and BET or 106 and Park rather, then you know what we're talking about when we saying Nick and the Backstreet Boys and even Aaron. But Aaron was born December 7, 1987 in Tampa, Florida, to Jane, and we're gonna talk about her. But to Jane Elizabeth and Robert Carter. I got that because I want to talk about her. I was going to make sure. Yeah. I never knew her mama name before doing this, though, honestly.
Yeah, I knew Jane. I just didn't know Jane Elizabeth. But
It said Jane Elizabeth, and I guess Spalding is her maiden name because they had that on there, too. Yeah.
Okay, let's go, Jane.
But and Robert Gene Carter. And again, he was better known at that time. Actually, I feel like that might be a stigma that followed him throughout his life because he was always kind of known as Nick Carter's little brother.
Yeah.
And that can be annoying because that's just like, I remember watching an interview where when Michael Jackson and Janet first came out with Scream and everybody was like, oh, what took so long and blah, 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 blah. And Janet was even like, I want to do my own thing. I want to be Janet, not just Michael's little sister. So I that might have been something that followed him too. But again, he was better known as Nick's little brother. He pretty much toured with them from the sounds of it.
Yeah, I think he was like 9, they said, and he was
Even
already
before that, like he had been doing the shows and stuff with them for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was already accustomed to that lifestyle. And at the age of 9, he opened up for the Backstreet Boys, which is a humongous fucking thing, especially at that time. But he was one of the opening acts for Backstreet Boys and sang a rendition of "I Got a Crush on You." Again, you have to be an 80s baby to even know where that comes from. They didn't say what age he was when he got signed, and I couldn't find anything.
They also said he was a big hit across the pond. So
Which people are.
Yeah, and so when they brought him over, they were like, that's when they really tried to get him to be big here.
Right.
Yeah.
He should have did like Tina and left, but anyway, because she always says she got more support overseas than she did here, so that's why she left. But I'm gonna guess somewhere around the age of 10, because he was 9 when he performed, and they basically fell in love with him at that moment and signed him very shortly after. So somewhere between 9 and 10. He signed to Jive Records. Everybody was signed to Jive Records at that time. Like from R&B to pop, everybody was on Jive Records at that time. What happened to Jive Records? Is anybody signed to them anymore?
I have no idea.
Is anybody signed to anybody anymore is the question.
No.
I'm waiting on your single. I'm waiting.
You was wait a minute. Don't tell me my secrets out, girl.
Girl, listen. Okay. We got the podcast. The boutique is gonna be ready before the summer is out, and then we got a hot single coming right after that.
I'm gonna kill the game.
Ooh, it's gonna be hot, all right. Anyway, in 2000, Aaron, his first album came out with his hit song, and I think this is why I was over, because I Want Candy. That was never my jam.
No, it was not.
Even the How I Beat Shaq.
Yeah, I never liked any of those songs.
But you got to think that at this time, like, Sammy had just came out. Mario had just came out. Or was getting ready to come out. So it's like, I'm listening to Sammy.
Oh, yeah, 2000.
Yeah, because he's only 2 years younger than us. Mario, I think Sammy might be a year, about Aaron Carter's age. And I think we're closer in age to Mario. But either way, both of their albums was already out at this point. And Sammy was like 10 or 11 when he came out, and I was blasting his at 14, 15. So I'm listening to one type of music, and then you got I Want Candy over here with Aaron Carter. Again, I knew who he was because he was Nick Carter's little brother, and he was popping.
He was everywhere, though. He was
popping at the time.
I'm like, oh, look at him. Oh,
yeah.
Blonde hair. Okay, moving on.
But that was when he let his first album out. That's How I Beat Shaq, and I Want Candy were like the two biggest songs on the album, but the album sold millions. Somebody's Teeny Bopper Kids was listening to him. Everybody's Teeny Bopper Kids was listening to him. Even if I wasn't, everybody else was, because bro was popping at the time.
Yeah.
And even was deemed the Prince of Pop by him. That's what that, yeah. I was gonna slide that in there.
You'll see that.
Yeah, so he did give him that, but it was, I think that's where kind of nepotism comes in a little bit, because yeah, you had the talent, but let's be real, he took off because of who his brother was. You already had a whole generation of females and girls that were in love with Nick, and now their little sisters and little cousins was in love with Aaron. Again, I was never a big Nick fan either, but I loved Backstreet Boys.
I just feel like we love these, people, because they're like, their music, they make good music. Yeah. But like, I feel like some people just have like these different type of infatuation with these people, and it's like you and who who. And like it's everything just like somebody liked him like that, like how you like that man.
Not you for my business.
I'm just saying.
Oh, Beyonce's YouTube channel. I literally almost choked, bro. That really went down the wrong pipe.
People love him. They love him. They scream for all their shows.
You are so right, because y'all don't find him attractive like I find him attractive. None of my friends think that man is attractive. Who child with the things I would do to him. Anyway.
That's what them little girls.
It's not abnormal. I mind my business. I don't be just like stalking him. When stuff pops up about him, of course it catches my attention. But if I happen to be at this concert in October,
people loved him. They loved him.
A lot of people loved him. That's why I said that I might not have been listening to him. But you might not have been listening to him. I don't know, because we weren't around each other at that time.
Right.
But he was popping. Like the only thing he wasn't on was BET. He was on Disney. He was on Nick. I think he was more signed to Disney because of his brother, because Nick started out on the Mickey Mouse Club.
Didn't he? Did he?
JC from Disney.
I thought it was JC and Justin.
Brittany and Christina.
Felicity. Is that her name?
Felicity.
The girl, the show was Felicity. I don't know what her real name.
Oh, I don't know her real name. Okay, I know what
Carrie something. And I think it's Carrie. I think she was. I didn't know Nick was on there too.
Yeah, he was. I think he came more toward the end of the Mickey Mouse Club when it wasn't nobody really watching it no more, which is why they got rid of it. Because I think we were like the last generation of the real Mickey Mouse Club. But I was about to say Fergie was on there, but that wasn't it. That was Kids Incorporated that she was on. But anyhow, he was, like we said, he was everywhere. He was on Lizzie McGuire. And actually, before I go any further with this, because this ties into it. Huh?
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, because you're looking one way and you're saying words. To give a better idea before we go any further. So apparently growing up, or the Carter family wasn't always the wealthiest to begin with. We're going to tie that in before we go any further. And
Ryan Gosling.
Oh yeah. That's what you was looking for. Okay. Yes, Ryan Gosling. And because you the one who sent the video, or one of us sent the video in the group chat of them singing damn Jodeci on there.
Yeah, and I said, Ryan Gosling. He built white houses with blue shutters, and he can sing.
Ryan Gosling out here holding whole secrets that people don't forget about. Somebody ought to dare him to sing now. But apparently the Carter family wasn't like the richest family to begin with. They were pretty poor.
5 kids.
Well, they had 4 before Aaron. So the older 4 remember being broke.
Aaron's a twin.
Oh yeah.
Aaron's a twin. So
it's the older 3 then.
4th and 5th. Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the older 3 then. Mm-hmm. So the older 3 remember being broke. My assumption is the reason why they wasn't broke no more is because Nick was in the Backstreet Boys.
Right.
And he himself was 15, 16 when he started with them because he was a baby.
I think he was the youngest one of them, right?
That was the thing him and Justin was about neck and neck for, because all the teenage girls wanted everybody in them 2 groups, but they had the biggest following because they were so much younger.
That team was, I think they had a team Selena and a team whoever.
No, definitely. It was what for me.
Team NSYNC and the team Backstreet Boys. You didn't know about that. That thing was real.
Listen, I am team both. Always have been.
Me too. I like both.
But I will always say, performance-wise, NSYNC was better. They were better dancers.
Yeah.
Vocally, they're not fucking with Backstreet Boys. We're just gonna say it. They're not till this day.
I was always
except for JC.
I was always a Backstreet Boys fan, but a Justin fan. Like I really didn't like.
I think we all were at one point.
I really didn't mess with NSYNC, but I was fucking with Justin.
I always liked JC's voice. JC was always. He was a lead singer, but I don't understand why. I know why Justin got the attention he got, but vocally, JC just shouldn't have been in that damn group. They should have swapped Nick and JC, because Nick should have been over there with NSYNC and JC should have been over there with Backstreet Boys. But I guess eventually Nick's voice did mature and he did start sounding better. But yeah. Anyhow, we're gonna go off track. Right. But I feel like the reason why the family started doing well, and again, I'm gonna talk about Jane, because Jane, you ain't gonna get by on this one. I feel like that's why the family started doing better, because Nick at that time was the breadwinner. So by the time Aaron comes along, everything is kind of okay. Like they living all right, but
where
also
remember, right, where he
what he can remember.
He remembers them being okay. They're not living, for instance, living in the car. Like Nick said, they was living in the car van for a minute. So
right. So with that being said, around the time his career started taking off, his mom and dad start beefing. And now he's trying to maintain a career, but mom and dad is having a whole situation and getting a divorce at home. And in the meantime, Jane never, in Aaron's words, she was more focused on being a manager than she was a mom. So naturally, that in itself is going to cause problems within any child, I feel like, if you putting this over just being my mom or my dad or whatever. But as his career was taking off and he's on Disney Channel and he was touring, because he was on tour with the Backstreet Boys, I know, at one point after his album came out. Like, he was really out here doing it. This is where it gets a little petty. So while he was on Disney Channel, like, he had showed up on Lizzie McGuire's show, and then she came out with a movie. And the way his management set it up, and I'm glad I know this now because I remember the whole mess when it happened. His publicist, that's what it was. His publicist set up, we're going to get this big old bouquet of flowers, and you're going to go on the red carpet with Hilary Duff, and you're going to give her these flowers. Right. So Aaron did just that. And from that, of course, because we didn't have social media, so you had to be watching it or catch it later on the news or Access Hollywood or something.
Right. Yeah, you just could not do it.
There was no social media, so you had to catch it when it happened, or you had to wait a day or a week, because that's before they BET start rerunning everything every damn day. That's when you used to have to wait a week to see the award shows again and all of that. So with that being said, he gives her the flower, and now everybody, Aaron Carter and Hilary Duff is dating. Now, they apparently weren't at that point. Yeah. But I'm sure between probably being around each other and the image it was going to give, they push people to be together just because it's going to sell records or whatever. So this is when it gets messy, because Aaron said he started getting bored. So Aaron started dating Lindsay Lohan. And again, you have got to be of a certain age to realize how important this mess was at that time. Right. Because Lindsay was that girl. When it came to movies at that time, Lindsay was that girl, and Hilary Duff was the thing on Disney Channel with Lizzie McGuire. You look like you want to say something.
No.
Okay. But
I wasn't a Lindsay fan.
Why not?
I don't know. I really just didn't mess with her.
You don't like the Parent Trap?
That's the only thing I like. But
she was cool till she got crazy, but most of them are until they do.
Well, look what they have to deal with. So her daddy robbed her ass too. So I mean, just some shitty ass parenting.
And we were just talking about the very few that actually made it out kind of unscathed. Hilary Duff is one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, Lindsay had a whole phase too, because she was not a whole phase. Let me repeat that, a whole, for somebody to think I'm saying she was a hoe. I don't know what that girl did, but she had a whole phase too, where she was suspected to be on drugs and all of that. So it kind of you didn't know that girl?
Oh, I didn't know it was suspected. I thought it was like a thing.
It was proven, because I ain't never heard the final actual factuals.
I mean, I've seen crackheads before, so I know what a motherfucking crackhead look like. But I mean, I guess if they need to prove it, you're right. It is
allegedly. I don't really work here. Allegedly, we wasn't there when she was doing it. Allegedly.
What it look like?
I almost said something, but I ain't gonna mess with you today. I was gonna say we wasn't there with Whitney either, but
my baby was a crackhead. She was a crackhead.
Wait, did you order another shirt?
I did. What was a gift? Somebody got this for me.
Oh, who? My mom got you another one?
No. Oh, I ain't gonna tell Mary's business. No, she no.
I just asked her. You asked her to another one?
Okay. No, she got it for me.
Oh, okay. Let me see. Okay. So where was I? So it was the mess with Lindsay Lohan and Hilary Duff, and eventually Hilary was like, I ain't got time for this. I'm Hilary Duff. Y'all do what y'all want to do. It really didn't last long because Hillary really did not feed into it.
Right. It wasn't even nothing serious anyway. So
right. So at this point, he's what, 15, 16 around this time?
Yeah, I guess so.
And as we all know or have heard with child stars of any kind, be it acting, singing, whatever, they grow up fast. Which is the excuse a lot of these adults in Hollywood use for messing with them. But anyway, they grow up fast. So they're exposed to club life a lot sooner than most of us are. They're exposed to a higher grade of drugs than most of us are. Because a lot of us was doing backyard boogie back in the day. We couldn't even get quality boogie. We just had backyard boogie. So
parents was there watching out the window. What was they doing?
No, seriously, we had to sneak and hide and go do it. His parents was probably in the next room with it. Like you just don't know with these people. But he's exposed to a lot that the average 15, 16-year-old is not exposed to at that age. So of course he starts experimenting with drugs. You can take it from here because I don't even know where I'm going.
Okay, so when he's a teenager and he starts experimenting with drugs, he turns 18 and he learns that he is in debt and he owes the tax. He has tax liens, so he owes taxes from all the money he made when he was a minor. I felt was like the IRS know everything else. You don't know his birthday, so you don't know who's controlling his money.
They knew it. They didn't care.
Like, why come after him when he's 18? You should have been coming out that mama and where that money at. Or the dad, who the parents.
I feel like there's some bullshit loophole that keeps them from keeping the parents accountable.
It's ridiculous. And then they were talking about how they're obligated to put a certain percent up.
I wrote that down. It's called the Jackie Coogan law.
Yeah.
This law, I remember watching this story. This law was set up back in like
1939.
Yeah, it was early.
And then they
like a long time ago. And it was because Jackie Coogan made so many millions of dollars throughout his career as a child actor. And when he got of age and wanted his money, his mama and daddy looked him in the face with a straight face. I would assume it was a straight face. I hope they didn't laugh. So we're going to say a straight face. And told him he didn't have no money.
Yeah.
Millions. And you got to think of people, Macaulay Culkin, Gary Coleman. A lot of celebrities were taken advantage of because we know Macaulay Culkin had millions. There's no way
where they got this 15%
the math from. So the law set up. It's supposed to protect the child. That's what it's supposed to do.
That's not protecting the child by giving
it only applies in the state of California. And out of 100% income, the child is only required to have 15% of said income put away, and the parents still walk away with 85% of whatever he earned. So what he was probably living off of was that 15% plus whatever royalties or whatever he might have had set up.
Yeah,
and whatever little shows he was doing.
He filed bankruptcy. To avoid paying the IRS, obviously.
Yeah.
And then he still owed like his publicist. He owed them a few payments behind. Like it was just a lot of stuff, and that he just.
What's crazy to me is why don't one or both of the parents? I get that they were divorced by this time. But why isn't it required for these parents to have their own source of income outside of what you get from your child?
Source of income is
outside of what. Okay, so you deserve as a manager, you deserve the full 85%. So that tells me they were putting the bare minimum in that account for that
account. Right, they're putting the 15. That was it.
All that's required is 15. As a parent, you should have been putting at least half of that. Yes, you still got to pay for certain expenses for him, but at least half of that should have gone into that boy's account if y'all didn't have enough money on your own to sustain the rest of the household. Because considering what he was making, she really only needed about 25% of whatever he was making.
But at this point, all your other kids are grown.
Except for him.
All you should be taking care of is your house that you live in with Aaron and his twin.
Yeah.
And that's it. What else is you got? What else isn't that you're taking care of? These
cars, clothes.
Like that, they need to be out. They need to be moved out of a job or whatever. They don't need to.
Because you wasn't taking care of Nick. I don't know about them other two sisters, but you wasn't taking care of Nick. That's who we know you wasn't taking care of. So
yeah.
Anywho, Jane. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
He did the bankruptcy, and then he, tried to avoid having to pay all that. Well, not try, but to avoid paying that money back. And then it just, I mean, literally downhill from there. I'm like nothing. I feel like watching a documentary. I was just like, this is fucking sad. Like this, like nothing.
The only good thing that happened to him was having his son, and he didn't even get to really enjoy that.
I don't even want to guess. Okay, come on.
Yeah, we're gonna get there.
Well, he did Dancing with the Stars. He tried to make a comeback, which a lot of.
Well, wait, before that, 2006 is when The House of Carter premiered, the reality show.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there were a lot of people behind the scenes, and AJ said it on the documentary, like none of them thought it was a good idea.
Did you? Yeah, it was the mama. But did you watch? Have you watched it?
I've only seen clips and heard about it.
I watched it.
I was about to say that was more of a you show than a me show.
Yeah, like reality. Yeah. So I watched 2 episodes, and it was just too much. It was just.
If you say 2 episodes was too much, it was too much.
It was too much. It was arguing. It was fighting. I mean, and this is why when I was saying something earlier about Nick, we'll get there. But his behavior on that show is why I feel like he could have, like, your ass he ain't innocent in this situation. And you are, and for him to act the way he was with his little brother, I just was like, you acting like you his age and not acting like you older.
I didn't see it, but I did see the clip where he was like in Aaron's face. I did see that clip. And there's no way. Yeah. Just me personally, there's no way. But I can see where you can get that from. But I also feel like
it was a lot of jealousy with. I feel like watching the show, it was a lot of jealousy with the siblings to Nick, because they feel like, not Nick, with Aaron, because they feel like maybe the mom was the mom to Aaron. But Aaron feels like the mom was just a manager. But they feel like you had our mom. Like you didn't, like
she was gone all the time.
Exactly. But he feel like y'all could have had her because I didn't have a mom. I had a manager.
Like, right.
You girl, it was, I said, this family, I ain't never seen no shit like this. This is
with what I've learned with reality TV. I get what you're saying, and I'm not even saying you wrong, because that could have very well been what their relationship was at that time. But at the same time, with reality TV, we know they edit and cut based on what they know is going to get the best.
They put them in this house for them to argue. They knew this is going to happen.
Right, because even AJ, and again, AJ, I feel like was a really good reference in that documentary, because this is somebody that not only grew up with his brother, because again, Nick was the baby in the group. So not only grew up with his brother, but grew up with him as well from a little kid. So he watched him grow up, and he watched all the changes from beginning to literal end of what was going on. And for him to say, he was like, I said it, several other people said that it just, because they knew, Backstreet Boys knew what was going on with the Carters.
First of all, the siblings didn't want to be there. Like they were like you could they weren't.
It was more of a Nick and Aaron kind of thing.
And they didn't even want to be there. They didn't want to be in that fucking house. It was the mama.
I was say, so who signed them up for it?
The mama said probably said, oh, this is a good idea. We're gonna make money off of this, and probably set them up and made them feel obligated. I don't know, but none of them wanted to be there. They just looked like they. Girl, I was like, this ain't fun. I don't want to watch this. I
was more into the Basketball Wives and stuff like that. That was when you was going through your heels phase and all of that. So that was more of
all the reality. Okay,
I pick and choose
all the reality. I watch all the
as real as it can get.
Yeah.
But after that premiered, what already was probably a damaged relationship between him and Nick got worse.
Yeah.
I feel like as an elder sibling, Nick could have did better. And I don't like to put all the responsibility on the oldest, because I think that's bogus to me. It's just my personal opinion. I don't think the oldest should have to be responsible for everything and everybody. That's just my personal opinion. But also being the oldest, and knowing how your mom is, because she might not have been Nick's manager, but she was around for all of it. So you know what kind of person your brother's dealing with. So as an older sibling, you should have been more of a comfort and a support system versus judging him. Yes, and no, you don't have to like what he's doing, but he could have did better. Oh Lord, as an older sibling.
But I'm not gonna. I don't want. I would say, I'm not gonna pretend like Nick didn't have a problem of his own. I'm sure the first time he probably tried a drug was probably with his damn brother. Like Nick was very much had trouble of his own. So you're not innocent, and
Nick was just smart enough to not get caught.
Yeah, your face and your neck said it all, brother. We seen it. Yeah. And your ass ain't no damn innocent. And being that
we definitely did go through that skinny phase like Aaron did. He definitely did.
You being that, I mean, you look at pictures here now, and he looks like a recover, he could recover.
It's the weight for me, because usually when they recovering, they gain all types of weight, and he kind of blew up overnight.
You knew what he was going through as a child performer because you were one.
You experienced it firsthand.
You know what he's going through with your parents because you've been there with them parents. You know what he's going through as a person because you've been there. Everything that he was doing, he was just following in your footsteps. And for you to not, and I'm not saying it's required of him, but you would be like,
you could have did better.
Right. Why would you go through it and you'd be like, I don't want my brother to go through this. I would never want. You go through shit you don't want your kids to go through, right? So why would you want your little brother to go through it?
But again, for all we know, they could have had these conversations.
They both, right over a line. They had a conversation right over the line. So let's talk about this.
So anyhow, in 2009,
Dancing with the Stars.
Not they talked about it over a line.
That's just imagination. That's not what I
allegedly.
Right. That is
allegedly
just in my head. That is not a true story. So don't.
I can't even mimic the way I would imagine how that would have went after the line. Just like, so let's talk about this problem.
Right. You got a problem. You want something? Like, get the hell out of here. Like, you're just not gonna see. We know you had a problem. I like AJ.
Don't play in our face, Nick. That's what she's saying. Don't play in our face.
Don't play with us, okay? AJ admits to being a recovery. So you thinking
I didn't realize he relapsed, like, because he died in 20. He died end of 22.
Yeah.
Okay, so he said he had relapsed 18 months prior to him recording.
Right. Yeah. He was like 18 months ago. Oh, you knew what this is like.
Right, because I knew he had a drinking problem because you remember, again, on TRL, Backstreet Boys got on there one day, and obviously you're going to notice one of the lead singers is not there. And for whatever reason, they thought it would be the okay thing to do is announce that AJ had gone to rehab for his drinking problem. And the exaggeration of the audience and all them girls crying because that man was in rehab. I was confused. I was like, damn, it's like he in rehab, but why are they crying?
I really like them.
I really like them too, but I understand him going to rehab was a good thing. Like, damn.
But it's just sad when you see somebody you love just go down. I don't even love Aaron. It was just sad watching him in those videos.
It was. I didn't see a lot of it until after he died. So I hadn't seen or heard anything from Aaron.
I don't social media, so I really don't see it. Unless I'll be like, oh, look at this, and then I'll look it up. But
that's the thing. Even with me being on social media, I didn't see or hear nothing about Aaron Carter until he died. And that's when I started seeing all the lives and the screenshots and the pictures. I didn't know he looked that bad. I didn't. And I feel like tattoos never help when you look that bad. And he had a plethora of them. Mm-hmm. But 2009, he's on Dance with the Stars. That was at an attempt to, revive his career. Because that's what a lot of these people are doing now. You ain't doing too good. You want to get your name buzzing again? Go on Dancing with the Stars. So he tried it. At one point, they said that he was like kind of hosting for Access Hollywood, and it seemed like that was going to become a regular gig for him. Mm-hmm. But it just didn't pan out. It didn't work out for one reason or another. And he just kind of fell back down that hole. I think it was just constant depression for him. Just constant up and then extreme down. So 2015 is when he started to get serious about his music again. What I do like about this is he apparently found like an unknown, I'm not going to say nobody, but for lack of better definition, nobody writer. This random dude, I didn't catch his name, moves in with a friend in LA.
Oh, yeah, I didn't catch his name either.
Somewhere, yeah, I didn't catch his name. And he said this friend he was staying with just kept talking about how he was friends with Aaron Carter. And I'm sure like any normal person, like, all right, nigga, whatever. Okay. But then the next morning, somebody's knocking at the door. He opens the door and it's Aaron Carter.
Mm-hmm.
And he like, you write music? And he like, yeah. And he like, I got some tracks in my car. Come listen to him. As a writer, to literally just wake up and open the door and Aaron Carter was like, hey, I want you to listen to this and help me do my album. That has to be like the dope. And that I think that speaks to his character too. Because this is somebody you don't know. This isn't somebody in the industry. And I'm sure he had all type of connections he could probably reach back to. But you really were looking for a different sound for one thing. Because I'm sure if he'd have gone back to some people, they'd have tried to keep him kind of in that box that he was in as a kid. But they sat in the car. He said they sat in there for 4 or 5 hours. And from that, he said over so many months of time, he said it was a period of like 4 months that they basically never left the studio.
Yeah.
He lived and breathed the studio. And from that, the world got, I'm not going to say we, because I'm going to have to go listen to it after we finish recording because I never heard it. Mm-hmm. But that's how he came out with his Love album. And the song that they were playing on there sounded good to me. That's why I want to go back and listen to it. I kind of like it.
Sounded more like an R&B than a pop. Like, yeah. And I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't hear it either. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, now I got to go listen to it. But as good as it was, in comparison to his previous success, it ain't do shit.
I also feel like because he was so loved at the beginning, and then of course he had all his problems, the DUIs, the drugs, and all these other stuff. And then when he tried to make a comeback, no one accepted him. People were still writing mean, hateful. You're whack. You're never. And
it was when they said the writer dude said they had a specific crowd of people that would pay for tickets to go to the concert to heckle him.
That doesn't make any sense. And I feel like that would get to anybody. I'm strong and I'd be like, I don't give a fuck about my thing. But that's
I stopped the show to acknowledge your whack ass sign.
Wait a minute. I mean, I would probably talk shit, but I'd be like, why the fuck you even come?
Why would you pay money to come see me to talk shit about it?
And I'm really trying. And when a person is really trying, especially them being an addict or having previous issues, like give them a chance.
Yeah, they can't take
them down. Like, I hate when a person gets on drugs and they be like, oh, they were such a good person. They were so talented. They were this, they were that. And then they try to recover. Then they're like, oh, but he used to be a crackhead. But damn, when he was a crackhead, it was, he used to be so great. He's trying to get it back. Allow him to do so. Like, people just don't have compassion or empathy for people. And it's really sad. I mean, it really is sad. Sad.
And in his case, without the proper therapy or counseling, I should say, it really doesn't help because you don't know a positive way to combat that. You just go back to that same vice that got you in this position in the first place.
Yeah, whatever makes him feel better for right now.
So that was 2015. People are weird. And I'm going to say this, whoever you are, I hope you see us on TikTok somewhere. You're weird because who pays money to go see somebody they don't like, supposedly? Who does that?
That bully. Like, what is you bullying people? Like,
who does that? Like, just stupid. Man. So 2017, this is when Aaron, it seems like that's when he kind of really started trying to get some help, maybe a little bit.
He went to the doctor's show.
Mm-hmm.
Was like really like saying like, I'm having a problem. I'm scared. I'm angry. I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, hello. He's asking you people for help.
Mm-hmm. And they did do a drug test on him.
Yeah.
And it came back positive for opioids, amongst other things. I'm not even, it was a long list. So I'm gonna just say opioids and some other things.
And marijuana.
Yeah, it was like a bunch of
no meth, no cocaine. That's what it was. No meth, no cocaine.
But everything else under the sun is what it sounded like.
Right.
And they got concerned because they said the sister's name and I didn't write it down fast enough. But the doctors on the show, the doctors got concerned when they got the results back from his drug test because his sister died of a drug overdose.
Yeah.
And like I said, her name misses me. They said it and I didn't write it down fast enough.
I didn't either. One of the sisters. It don't even
matter.
But
one of his sisters, I think, wasn't it his twin?
No, because the twin got his ashes, so she's still alive.
Oh, okay. Well, damn, that shows you how much he feel about his mama. I'm just saying, if I die right now, some alcoholic is gonna get my ashes.
What? Jane's an alcoholic. I had 1, 2 drinks. Now I'm an alcoholic. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
So fast forward to his second visit on the doctor. He goes with his mom and comes to find out she has a whole drinking problem. And they touched on the fact he's already going through his struggles with his addiction. And a lot of times you do look for that help in your parents or an adult figure. He didn't have that to bounce back on. And they didn't even mention his dad no more. So I don't even know where Pops went.
Jane got rid of his ass.
Like, no, for real.
Yeah.
Because they didn't mention him no more after they said they got a divorce. That was it.
And that can be a problem in a boy's state of mind. Anything.
So,
he admits to huffing. That's what you said? He admitted to huffing?
So, yeah, that was 2019. Yeah. So let's not 2017. So we're going to stay in the same year, then we're going to go to that. 2017, he reached out to AJ from Backstreet Boys and basically was saying he needed help. Like, he realized he had a problem. He needed to do something about it. So AJ, like, I got you. If this is what you really want to do, I got you. Flew him out, got him into the rehab, got him set up. He heard from him the next day after Aaron checked in. He didn't hear nothing else. So after 2 weeks of not hearing from Aaron, AJ like, let me call up here and see what's going on. He calls up there. Aaron then checked himself out.
You go. I got time for this. That's to go.
So, and that's typical with addiction. I mean, sometimes there's back and forth.
Right. It's every day is. I'm not even an addict, and I know that every day is a struggle to stay clean. The littlest thing that ticks you off or upsets you or hurt your feelings, you're going to want to drink. You're going to want to hit. And I'm not even an addict, and I'm not a damn drug tester, but I know that much.
Yeah. So 2019 is when he would have went back to the doctor show with his mom, and he admitted to having an addiction to huffing. For those that don't know what huffing is, that's literally just inhaling toxic fumes. It doesn't matter what it is. Spray paint, whiteout. Paint huffing is the reason why some places, cities, states, stores require an ID for you to buy stuff like spray paint.
Yeah, I looked it up, and a lot of people do like the thing for you to clean your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, it's the inhaling of any type of toxic chemical. It can be gas. There are some people that go to gas stations and huff gas. Mm-mm. I can't be at a gas station too long smelling gas because I'm gonna get a headache. So I don't know how nobody taking the time to get high off of it.
I'm not going to the gas station. I don't even want to be there to pump the gas. So
listen, until recently.
Yeah,
I sent y'all a video this past winter of me at the gas station and called him to meet me at the gas station because it was too cold for me to get out the car.
Yeah. I mean, I understand, like, people who handle their mental health differently, but I guess I feel so bad.
I mean, for me, my preference is old Jane. Keeps me from slapping people. Mm-hmm. Old Jane. Mm-hmm. That's what helps me.
Okay. That's fine.
I like regular stuff. I ain't huffing that night, ain't snorting that night, ain't taking
hard stuff. I ain't about to just be like,
I'm like Cat Williams, give me regular.
This is not what I need.
I don't want the Cryptochronic Cuddlite. I don't want that.
I still want to hear. news. So, all right. So back
before we get off subject again.
So I think during COVID was when he was online a lot. That's when he met is her name Melanie? Melanie?
I don't like her.
Me either. I wrote down.
I don't even know her and I don't like her.
I literally wrote, not a fan.
No, seriously, like the minute they mentioned her and I saw her face, I was just like, no.
Her hair.
No. And then they went into detail further and was like, apparently, per his track of life, it was toxic. It was abusive. He had called the police on her. She alleged he was abusive to her.
Cameron saying, I don't know. He called the police on me, but he was back with me in a week. Like he was confused. Like she was confused. Yeah, because that's what toxic does to
relationships do. We argue and fight. I slap you upside your head, scratch your face up. You call the police on me. I go to jail. You bail me out, and we're back together.
And then now he has no one because clearly he ain't talking to Jane.
Nick got a restraining order on him.
Nick and Angela, the sister, got a
restraining order on them.
Right.
I think that is where Nick took it too far. If you ain't want to talk to him, don't talk to him. If you want to cut communication, but to a certain extent. Because if and when he needs help, which apparently he did, if and when he needs help, he can still get in contact with you. A restraining order makes that way too damn complicated.
And it seemed like, because they didn't say too much in the documentary, but so I had to Google why they were restraining order against them. It seemed like they were upset about the attacks. So he was saying like one of the older sisters sexually abused him. And now, when an addict is upset and they want to tell you why they hurt, they're going to tell it.
And they're going to tell the truth. 99% of the time, they're telling the truth.
And then they said something about Nick also being an abuser to one of his siblings, not him. So I'm thinking maybe the younger sibling or maybe a girl.
But what was that dude named? The Perlman dude.
Who?
The Phil Pearl, the dude that was signed. He was Aaron's manager.
Oh, the fat guy.
Yeah, he was messing with kids too. So that doesn't surprise me.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like they just kind of wanted him to shut up about it, and maybe feel like an attack. But if this is what he needs to get out to get his help, like maybe y'all should be okay. I understand. Let's get you some help. No, I don't want to talk to him. He's telling lies.
I'm gonna get a restraining order.
Okay, well, do that. Now you on stage crying? Boy, bye. You look ugly. Get rid of that hair. Do that. It is not 2000 any longer. You wasn't the best looking back in the day. See, now I'm attacking him. Now I'm being a bully. So now I'm not gonna say that. But he really was pissing me off on that stage.
First, Nick when he was crying?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say this. That doesn't take away from the fact that that's still his brother.
I'm not saying that. But I can't feel sorry for a motherfucker that didn't feel sorry for his brother when he was alive. Where was those tears when you was alive?
And again, like you said, there without a doubt, Nick definitely experimented with some shit. It probably didn't go well. Obviously, it didn't go as far.
I pulled it up, honey, because I know it.
Okay.
Yes, he was on drugs. He's cocaine, ecstasy, and prescription painkillers.
Why do they always go to prescription painkillers? Like
doctors give it to him. They go there and doctors they pay him. And
but I understand. Well, yeah, they can pay him extra. That's the difference between me and them. They can afford to bribe people.
Okay, he was in the bar.
Because I can go to the
bar raw fighting at the bar.
I totally remember that.
DUI.
But you judging your brother for doing pretty much. At least he wasn't doing coke.
He was just huffing. Okay.
You could have just did crack though. You're gonna be huffing.
Oh, was
the list that long? Because you still reading.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch. Well, this is just saying he was just like, he noted his physical appearance and he kind of took a look at himself, and that's when he figured, yeah, I noticed it too. That's why you can't tell me you wasn't an addict. Okay. Anyways, so he meets this girl after 8 days of knowing her, moved in together, and after a few months of knowing her, we getting married. He proposed to her on the internet.
That is literally when everybody that knew him, his brother, friends, family, when everybody should have stepped in.
Yeah.
Clearly, that's a scream for I just need somebody.
He had his baby November 22nd, 2021. Prince is his name.
I thought that was cute.
That was cute. He did have a little cute little baby, little bald-headed baby.
But even in that, they lost custody of him.
Yeah, and gave it to the mama. Melanie's mama had the custody.
Oh, I was about to say, because Melanie and his mama is trash. So
no, Melanie mama had custody, and they lost custody. And clearly they kept being toxic towards each other.
Right.
I believe at this time they were separated because that's when she seen the live video of him huffing with the black screen, and he was like, "Oh no, it's fake. I was just kidding. It's just." But
that's when you know addiction is bad, that you can't even hide it.
When you know this person, right? You say you know him.
It was 8 days, but she know him.
Okay, you know him, and you know his addiction
because she was doing it.
Right. You know that he's already mentally messed up from all the other traumas. Now, not only let's just say he loves you. You're his, you're his comfort from in his home. You're gone, and the baby's gone. The one thing that's going to love him back for who he is, not for what the world sees, is gone now. You don't think
I think it was his baby more than anything, because he probably could have did it without her. It was his baby, yeah.
Gone out of the home, him, her, whatever the situation. The one thing that is gonna make him feel better and is gonna love him for him is gone. Mm-hmm. It's gone. So you think he over there just making music, happy-go-lucky, playing the drums? No, he's sad, he's depressed, he probably doing all kind of crazy crap. Like, no.
So what was it, November 7th?
5th.
November 5th. 2022. Aaron Carter was found in his bathtub, allegedly, because I saw them pictures and I still have questions.
Well, his housekeeper found him.
Yeah.
Which, how often does she come over?
Because that bathroom was fucked up.
It's something, okay. Anyway,
the color of the water, the picture I saw, somebody.
The rumor is that the mama put those pictures out.
Yeah.
Really,
yeah.
Jen?
Yeah.
You got nothing.
That's why I said I got some shit to say about her. But once we got past all of it. So allegedly, my mama told me I gotta say this. Allegedly,
okay,
Jane Elizabeth, whatever her first name was, Carter, because I can't remember her maiden name. Not going back to that first page, but Jane got the pictures from the crime scene, which typically they do show that to the family. I don't know where they actually send them the pictures to where she should have been able to post it, but I do know that, especially in unsolved cases before they determine he had overdose, they will show the family the crime scene.
Yeah, and that was the thing. His autopsy was, he had no drugs. It was the huffing. Like, it was no cocaine.
No, they said that he has Xanax in his system too, for sure.
I mean, but sometimes you need minds.
But he was found dead in his bathtub from an apparent drowning because he got high from huffing and Xanax and whatever he took the night before. I wouldn't be surprised if alcohol was involved at all.
Yeah, for sure.
And he drowned in the bathtub. And there's no happy ending. I think for most people, when you see people that you grew up watching, when they die, it affects you in a way. Like people make comments like, how are you upset and crying over somebody you never met? And it's just like, bro, you ain't got no room either. You ain't got no room either.
I still do cry.
Because you cry about everything.
Song on, because I will cry.
I minimize my crying to specific things. You will cry about anything. I will. But what people fail to realize, you get attached to these people. I wasn't necessarily attached to Aaron Carter, but again, I grew up watching dude for the most part until he kind of fell off.
Right, when you hear like Aaron Carter, you think that little baby, like
little Aaron.
You don't realize like
he's 2 years younger than us.
Grown up dude, like, but you're like, that baby died. Like, why that baby dying? Like, he shouldn't be dying. Like, it just is crazy.
It's crazy.
And like, there is no. Yes, in general, some of them do make it out, child actors or performers or whatever.
Yes.
But the majority it's always the same story, and it's just like you get used and abused, and then when you need somebody that they say they loved you the most, you just forgotten.
They said it best in the documentary. They said what they know to be, or what a lot of people can assume to know to be, what part of his problem was, is he started off at such a young age with such a big response in popularity and fame. And they was like, not even his fans. They said the machine, the people that actually employed you, disappear on you. Like you said, those so-called friends and all those people that supposedly love you. Because while his publicist was on there talking, how much were you there for him after he wasn't able to pay you anymore?
Because at the end, and that's what I'm saying, and at the end of the day, he first of all, you've seen him grow up. Mm-hmm. You know, so now I would even feel more connected to this baby because he was 10 years old.
You were a child when I met you.
Right. And he's a human. Like, I don't understand.
I think everybody forgets in general, not everybody, but a lot of people tend to forget that celebrities are just that. Aside from all this propaganda, and like I said, I consider myself a little bit of a conspiracy theorist myself. There are some things that I believe that a lot of people don't. But there are a lot of things that I also believe are ridiculous as hell.
Yeah.
Because contrary to popular belief, not everybody's a clone, if at all. I'm over the clone thing, because let's be real. If we're going to clone a person, you have to start it from a fetal stage. We're not going to get scientific today, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But with that being said, people tend to forget they're human. Now, everybody ain't Beyonce. Everybody ain't got somebody to combat and say all the things for them, because ain't nobody going to be able to ever say nothing sideways about Beyonce and not get dealt with. Look at Carrie Hilson. That's all I'm saying. She said one wrong thing about Beyonce. We ain't had another album out the whole since.
I like Carrie. What she said?
I do too. I was upset because I was trying to figure out why we ain't heard nothing else. Apparently, she had somewhere, actually made a song, had some lyrics.
What she said about Beyonce?
I gotta pull it up for you when we get off here. But she absolutely put it in the song. She had words for Beyonce. Beyonce people got on it. We ain't had albums since.
Okay, so
Aaron didn't have that, is what I'm saying. He didn't have that defense mechanism.
Well,
he didn't have
everybody is switched on him so damn fast. You can't even. I mean, I don't know. I just.
It's sad. It's just sad.
It's really sad. These people, these kids, they grow up. They're human. That you know what they go through. You watch what they go through.
Mm-hmm.
You allow it. You enjoy it with them. And then you turn your back on them when they.
It's crazy because when I hear stories like this, I remember wanting to be a singer and wanting to be famous and going on all these auditions and all that shit. I used to do all that.
I used to love to sing.
Girl. And as an adult now, even 10, 15 years ago, just looking back at how a lot of the actors and singers we grew up listening to that were around our same age, and how half of them are dead and gone or on drugs, strung out, or just now recovering. Like, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And at some point I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that now, but it's just crazy how if I would have kept on that route and kept that same energy, that could have easily been me.
I just feel like people are so I need. Like, okay, for instance, Jane has this thing where she wants to live in a bigger house and have the nicer cars and own a boat and want this, so she keeps them boys busy to keep earning that money. And I just don't feel like our parents are. I see that wasn't what they are in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you, what's the little girl? I like her so much from Blackish. What is her name?
Uh,
I forgot her name.
I know you're talking about her. Yeah.
You can see that
Marsai Martin.
This is her passion.
Yeah.
You can see that's her passion. She wants to write. She wants to direct. This is her passion. So you can see her parents letting her pursue her passion. Right. They're not like, you gotta do this, make it out. I need a it's not something that
I always tell people, because a lot of people thrive on, I came from the struggle. I don't think that should be a badge of honor, but to each their own. Because if you got out of that, good for you. I mean, and I'm not mad at all. Fine. But no, that's what I'm saying. My situation wasn't that. Was my upbringing perfect, or was my childhood perfect? No, but I've never come from a struggle. I can't really think of a time that I didn't have anything I needed and or wanted for the most part.
Right. And if it was something, maybe I didn't have everything, and maybe I see that I could be like, oh, I wish I had.
But what I'm saying is, even in that, if my life would have taken that turn of being a child singer, actor, whatever it was I wanted to pursue at that time, same thing, my dad wasn't pushing anything. That was me. I grew up singing, but me wanting to take it somewhere else was a me thing. That was what I wanted to do.
See, the Mary's has a desire to want to be in the limelight or want to be this to push you so that she.
My mom's definitely not that person.
No, I don't see that. She'd be like, okay, well, do I have to go?
Because no, like I was just about to say, my dad would have probably more than likely been the one. Me being a girl and being so young, my dad would have more than likely been the one on the road with me.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they would not have only put the bare minimum of the 15% in my account. They would have made sure I had more than enough, because they know realistically
they came from the struggle.
Exactly.
And when this is all done, they don't want you to go.
That's exactly what I was about to say. They know realistically this may not last me the rest of my entire life. So therefore, let's make sure she got enough money when she gets of age to start over on her own and do what it is she wants to do from there. Even if I never go back to it, I don't see my parents. I don't see Johnny. I don't see Lexa. I don't see nobody just taking your whole shit and leaving you with nothing come 18. Yeah. So we 2 minutes over, because once again, when we get passionate about what we're talking about.
I feel like people really realize that they're
human.
You're a mom, and that is a child, and that's your baby. It just
but you got to look at it like even with Usher. Even Usher, he fired his mama at one point. Bow Wow, same thing. You have to cut that line at some point.
There is no, even
though Bow Wow probably should have kept his mama in his case, but
he'd be all right.
Usher fired his mama because he said the lines were being blurred. It was becoming more business than that's my mom.
Yeah, and who don't
wanted his mom?
Who don't want to go to home for Thanksgiving and talk about what you been up to? I don't want to sit at a table and you tell me, well, you got to sign a contract and you
discuss it 4 days and shit.
Hear this at Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I just snapped, took my turkey and went on with my day. My sides in peace.
I wouldn't even win. I'd have called one of my brothers, hey, make me a plate. What you want? I'd have texted them a whole list of everything I want.
I'm a mom first, and it is what it is. I ain't never.
And more Hollywood moms need to realize that. Hollywood parents, I'm not even gonna say moms. Hollywood parents, because Lindsay Lohan, both her parents did her over horribly. They was in cahoots with it.
Brittany what's her name? Jessica Simpson. Her parents too.
I didn't know about her.
Yeah, her daddy.
That makes sense because he was her manager,
and he was a preacher.
And I feel like he kind of made her marry old boy. What's his name? Nick. I feel like he kind of made her marry him. I always did feel like that because she was so. Her and Brandy, and this is the last thing I got to say before we close out. Her and Brandy got on my last nerve with that whole innocent, holier than thou, I'm a virgin. Brandy was out here pregnant, lying about being married because your mom cared more about your persona than you as a person.
I don't remember that. And she was dating that man. She was dating that old man from Boys and Men. Is that her baby daddy?
No. This was somebody after that. The girl, that's another story about some child pedophilia. Because that man was grown and that girl was like 15.
I'm not gonna play. I don't see. That's the whole nother that right there.
And they played in our face. And I remember hearing about Wanya and Brandy dating. And in my mind, I knew it was wrong, but some kind of way I thought it was cool.
I feel like it needs to be called Hollyweird and not Hollywood, because
that's why a lot of people describe it that way. They say Hollyweird.
They're weird. They're weird as crap.
Where in real life are parents of real children who really care about their children gonna be okay with their 15-year-old dating? I think Wanya, I think they said was like 23, 24 at the time.
Someone older, being taken advantage of, worked to death. Thank y'all for the nice regular life I had. Thank both of y'all for just raising me as a normal kid. No, I can say no drama. We have some hiccups here and there, but just thank y'all, Mary and Jim, for giving me a regular, nice, normal life. The fact that they can let their kids just go and do whatever with whomever, I can't even.
That down now. We 5 minutes over.
I can't even let them go to school. I have anxiety. Ooh,
that is a whole nother 30 minutes.
Go ahead, hurry up.
All right. So before we go any further, catch us on social media: Facebook, No Crime After Dark; Instagram, No Crime After Dark _podcast; TikTok, No Crime After Dark. Somebody has even been responding to messages and reaching out to people on TikTok. So look at us with a little bit of progress over here.
Look at I'm doing.
But as usual, like I said, last week's episode, y'all forgive me. The editing been messing up the last couple weeks, twice in the last month. I had it as unlisted because I wasn't done editing it, and then I finished editing it and then forgot to list it. So again, don't judge me, judge your mama. But for all of those that have been watching, those that support us, we appreciate it. Like I said, keep an eye out. Had to push the boutique back a little bit, but she will be ready to go before the summer is out. Not gonna give y'all a date, but I have been working over here. I got my labels. I just got to finish a whole lot of other stuff, but we getting there. We getting there. And with the boutique, there will be body products, handmade. We will have handmade lip glosses, and maybe even some apparel. I'm debating on that. Possibly, maybe that shit costs. But anyway, as always, be safe. If you have a child that shows some talent,
your children and everybody's children.
Everybody's
child.
Everybody's. But if you have a child that has talent, they're showing an interest in being famous in any way, shape, or form, be it singing, dancing, acting, whatever, be a parent before you're anything. Pay attention to everything. And don't fall for anything. That being said, we'll see y'all next week.
Peace.
I'll holla.